neighbors, and proud members of the Tulsa District Support Staff Union Local 6049, support staff of the largest school district in the great state of Oklahoma. My name is Patricia Al-Sharif, proud teacher's assistant at the fabulous Kenner Whittier Elementary. I am running for president of our union because I believe that anybody that works all day should make enough to live. And if you work in the state of Oklahoma, you should make enough to live in the state of Oklahoma. I believe real change begins when people raise their voices. Now let's talk about the realities so many Oklahomans face. Our minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour, unchanged since 2009. A full-time worker at that rate earns less than $15,000 a year before taxes. But housing has increased by 6% and we have a cumulative inflation rate of 51%. More than 200,000 renter households in our state do not make enough to afford a modest two-bedroom home. Over 40% of our workers cannot afford a two-bedroom apartment, and 20% can't even afford a one-bedroom apartment. And these aren't unemployed people. They're working families. They're the people who drive our buses, clean our classrooms, serve our students' meals, work in our front offices, our secretaries, paraprofessionals, and the people who keep our kids safe. Out of every dollar allocated for education, up to 75% in many school districts ends up supporting athletics and non-instruction programs. I love sports, but you can't run a school on spirit alone. We need maintenance workers, cafeteria workers, paras, aides, secretaries, bus drivers to keep everything moving. We need the courage to reallocate existing funds to pay the people who make education possible. This isn't just a financial decision, it's a moral one. A living wage in Oklahoma today is $20 to $23 an hour, and that's around $42,000 a year. Imagine what would happen if even half of our school support staff employees earned that amount. When our citizens can afford to live, businesses prosper. That's why I'm not stopping at the schoolhouse door. I intend to build a coalition with the business community through the Chamber of Commerce, local employers, the civic leaders to make the economic case that paying people fairly grows our economy from the bottom up. Change doesn't begin at the Capitol. It begins when people care enough to act. My vision is simple. Pay every support staff member in our schools a living wage. Prioritize education spending for those who teach and serve students every day. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to choose differently. So today, I ask for your support, not for my campaign, but for a cause bigger than any one candidate. This economy rests on efficiency and effort of every support staff employee. We are the foundation that our education system rests on, where all businesses pick their employees. And to all support staff who feel like you have been forgotten or just an afterthought, I promise when you have a grievance, I will not stop until I have exhausted every avenue available to make sure you get the outcome that's best for you. So friends, let's stand together. If you want a strong economy, pay a living wage. If you want stronger schools, pay a living wage. If you want stronger families, pay a living wage, because when we lift up our workers, we lift up our entire state. I'm Patricia Al-Sharif, and I'm asking you for your vote for fairness, families, and for a future where all Oklahomans can stand tall. Thank you, and may God bless you and your families and our educators in the great state of Oklahoma. And now I am ready for any questions you have to ask.
In regards to the union, just how important is it that they get involved with the union as an employer family member?
Well, the union membership needs to grow because you need a show of support. And so, well, that's something we're going to have to do. We have, I think, 568 members at this time, but the bargaining union is 2,470. And I have some ideas about raising the membership because we need a show of force, and we need also to show up and lobby the Congress. I found out that every Tuesday you can go lobby Congress, so I plan that if I win, I will live up there almost, because they don't need to raise another tax for us. They just need to choose how they allocate their money. They just need to choose how they allocate their money. Tulsa Public Schools is the third largest employer in the city of Tulsa and the 14th largest employer in the state of Oklahoma. But they pay wages that create generational poverty. But this is a government institution and essential to the prosperity of Oklahoma. And we are crippling our state by not paying our support staff and teachers a wage to live. We should be paid wages that builds houses, because we are in every community.
As you probably already know, the Senate just approved $85 million in an appropriations bill, and some of that's trickling down to the teachers trying to raise salaries, which we talk about yearly in Oklahoma. But is not any of that money trickling down to support staff, which is just as essential?
Okay, that is number one. That doesn't make any sense. We need to make a living wage. That we work for the state of Oklahoma, we should make enough to live in the state of Oklahoma. We provide a essential service. There's nothing they can do unless we do our jobs first. And we should not do that job without a living wage. Not giving a raise is not it. When you start at a living wage, we need to start at a living wage and then talk about a raise. But it's callous to think that you can sit there and say, well, I don't have any money, and human beings are not having enough to pay the rent. We are essential. They can't say, well, we're going to give up taking out the trash. That trash have to go out. We can't say, let's give up driving the bus. Somebody got to pick those kids up. We're essential, and we should make a living wage.
I'm here. Everybody knew me. Everybody knows that I've been in the union for years. I'm one of the blessed, but we used to do the summer feeding program in the summertime. I'm a cafeteria manager. And we would have the summer feeding program, and we would have kids people that could work and apply for the summer program. We had bus drivers, we had paras, we had cafe staff, and we used to run like 60 facilities to feed students over the summer, to have the summer programs and those jobs used to be created so that the 9-month employees could have a summertime job. That pay has always been historically lower than your current rate of pay.
What would leadership look like for you for beginning day one as president?
Well, I look at from everything from a business perspective. And my first, we're going to have to get the business community, which I'm savvy in the business community. The first thing it does when you give somebody more money that don't have money, what they do on the way to work, stop at Quick Chip and get a pop. The next thing they do, stop at the restaurant and get an extra dinner, buy some food or whatever. The next thing they're going to do, so you're going to get sales tax. That's the first thing you'll get. The second thing you're going to get is excise tax. Guess what? They can fix their car or buy a new one. You're going to get excise tax. And the third thing that's going to happen is when they work for a little while is that they're going to buy a house in the community where their school is, and you're going to get property tax. We're not going anywhere. We're in every neighborhood.
The second part is a combination of the young lady said. I am a supporter for Tulsa schools, and too often the emphasis is made on.
Can you give her the microphone? I can hardly hear her.
Oh, I do. I have one. Okay, now I can hear. Too often, the emphasis has been made on our classroom teachers, and I understand that. However, support staff have become like the invisible people.
I'm going to be for president for local 6049, but if I set the precedence, the whole state will do it because it'll benefit the whole state. But you're talking about giving a raise. They want to raise the wage to $15 an hour. That's not going to pay your bills. You need about $27 an hour to pay your bills. The raise, $15 an hour, that's rude. Whatever it calculates out. And then our wages need to be indexed with inflation, because if they give us a raise, they don't need to eat it up in inflation, eat it up. I want it living wage indexed with inflation. It'll benefit the state. we're crippling our economy by not paying us. You have to engage them. I will engage with them. I will engage with them. I have a few ideas about how to grow the membership.
As a member, I can't say if I had something to want to come to. Like, that's what you can give me. I mean, whoever the president's gonna be. Like, I like to participate in it. I have a voice. I like to be heard. And I think all members like to be heard.
Yeah.
So give me something to look forward to and to come to a meeting for.
Visit a nursing home or whatever we decide. I think we should have some organization like that. Voter registration, and I think that we should hold regular voter registration drives, because if we don't have people up there that see it our way, we'll just register enough people that will finally see it our way. The reason why so many people are having so many problems is because you're always stressed when you don't have enough money. Oh, we have Dr. Marshall.
As I have traveled the state campaigning, speaking with teachers and support workers, one of the strong observations that I've gotten from individuals has been that being a part of the union, people feel disenfranchised, they feel disillusioned, they feel that they're not included. And as someone going into a position of leadership, it is of strong consequence that a programmatic thrust be put together and put forth first, because the wind beneath your wings are the members.
That's exactly true.
Tulsa Public Schools is the largest school district in the state. 5,500 employees, and a large number of those individuals are support workers. And from the numbers you stated, you don't have all the numbers you need.
If I win, I'll be at the fair. I'll be at the fair talking to the general public and making them aware. Number one, they always equate support staff with teachers. Teachers make $2 more over a living wage. I mean, they barely make a living wage, and support staff don't. And I've done that too many times, And first thing I do, I'll be at the fair and I will explain it to everybody that walks by that we don't make enough to live. And I know the general public don't want you to not make enough to live and work at the school. We're crippling our country not paying support staff a living wage, and that's the easiest place to stabilize the state is through the public school system. What I plan to do is teach the business community how important and how it would benefit them if everybody that drove by them every day had enough to buy what they sell. If you want to see what I'm all about, go to www.patriciaalsharif.com and see what I'm all about. But basically, I'm not stopping until I get a living wage, and I know that they know that we need it, and we just need the right people to help them figure out how to do it. Because I don't think they have bad intentions. Okay, thank you. All right. All right, I got 30 minutes to get out of here.